Lagos Racecourse is the scene, and it's the afternoon of Nigeria's great day, with thousands awaiting the climax and resolved to relish every minute leading up to it. Princess Alexandra, with Sir James Robertson, the retiring Governor-General, must have enjoyed the whole jubilant atmosphere of the occasion. A first-class show was put on for the benefit of spectators. Entertainers fairly let themselves go, tumbling head over heels with delight. Celebrating, however, as we all know, can be a bit exhausting. The princess was received with yells from the kids. Her friendly charm had quickly made her very popular. It was as the representative of Her Majesty the Queen that Princess Alexandra of Kent returned in the evening. She was about to hand over Nigeria's constitution. And presently, quoting the Queen's own words, she was to wish Nigeria a great and noble future. This was the moment for which the country's leaders, in partnership with British authority, had patiently worked. The Nigerians themselves emphasized that all has been done in friendship, and that friendship will continue. Meanwhile, top-ranking Nigerians, wearing their finest robes, watched in dignified silence as the climax of Independence Day was reached. In handing over the documents to the Federal Prime Minister, Alhaji Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Her Royal Highness handed over sovereignty to a new nation.
The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain is a line in the national anthem that evokes strong admiration for the courage and passion of our founding fathers. Labor in that context refers to their struggles against colonial rule for Nigeria's political and economic freedom. At independence in 1960, the foundations for a modern Nigerian economy had been laid, upon which the structures for a self-sustaining economy, mainly agricultural, industrial, and service sectors, would be built. However, in the nearly 60 years since independence, Nigeria, once considered the giant of Africa, now ranks in the bottom 10 of socially progressive countries and has consistently ranked low on virtually all development-related indices and metrics. Why? Is it for lack of trying? Not exactly. But one might question the conception and implementation of numerous national plans and visions flaunted by successive governments, civilian and military, to take Nigeria to the promised land. So, what happened to goals like reduction in the level of unemployment and underemployment, increase in the supply of skilled manpower, increased productivity and promotion of a new national orientation conducive to greater discipline, better attitude to work, and cleaner environment? This is where Nigeria has missed the mark. In almost 60 years of nationhood, we have not been able to translate the huge potentials of our human and natural resources into meaningful progress. No wonder a social commentator, while challenging people in developing countries like Nigeria, argued that the difference between the poor and rich nations is not the age of the nation, nor is it the availability of natural resources. Japan's landmass is 80% mountainous, with its very limited territory unsuitable for agriculture, but is one of the world's largest economies. Like a huge floating factory, it imports raw materials from all over the world and exports manufactured products. What about Switzerland, which does not grow cocoa like Western Nigeria, but produces the best chocolates in the world? In its small territory, smaller than Yobe State, it rears animals and cultivates the land only 4 months a year, yet it produces the best dairy products. Also, you must have noticed that scholars and business people from developed countries who interact with their counterparts from Nigeria and other poor countries show no significant intellectual differences. What then is the difference? The difference lies in the attitude of both leaders and citizens, which has been molded for many years by education and culture. The behavioral fabric of people in advanced countries seem to have been woven by the following life principles: ethics and integrity, human dignity, respect for laws and regulations, social responsibility, the effort to save and invest, the love for work, the will to be productive, and punctuality. Unfortunately, apart from a small minority, Nigeria does not have a critical mass that demonstrate these basic principles in their daily conduct. It is clear, therefore, that the reason for Nigeria's lack of progress is not the absence of abundant natural and human resources, but a flagrant lack of integrity, accountability, and productivity exemplified by developed societies. So, has Nigeria run out of time and options? Are we ever going to see Nigeria work? To construct a Nigeria of our dream, to build a Nigeria where people can realize their potentials, where merit counts and where hard work is rewarded, 4 traits, though not exhaustive, must be present. First, Nigerians must imbibe and demonstrate true patriotism in all our affairs. Second, we must work harder and smarter using relevant technologies. Third, we must be accountable for use of resources and time. And lastly, merit must be at the core of all appointments and promotions. While advancing the role of Nigeria in Africa's economic resurgence, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, said that what makes Africa work is what makes economies work anywhere, namely honest visionary leadership and good governance, letting the private sector and market lead, diversification from resource-based revenues, developing the potential of the human resources available. The impact and pace of the progress being made at the policy and implementation levels are like a drop in the bucket. But as the local parlance goes, atol naim bad. As Peter Drucker said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. One initiative that is helping to drive productivity at the grassroots is the very innovative and forward-looking Ready, Set, Work concept by the Lagos State Ministry of Education. It is a 13-week entrepreneurship and employability program that prepares final-year college students for immediate entry into the workforce as employees and employers of labor by equipping them with market-aligned soft skills, business tools, and a mindset reorientation for the world of work. A peculiar feature of this training is that attendance and punctuality can never be compromised, with deployment of tools such as TAMS, time attendance, and productivity application. The signs are good, with pockets of efforts here and there, though the work is hard, without a doubt. But by pursuing knowledge, innovation, youth empowerment, and accountability, we will set Nigeria on a path of sustainable development towards attaining broad-scale social well-being.